Hey, welcome back to the Weekend Wrap-Up, Episode 3. This is all the news, rumors, and results from wrestling, both WWE and AEW, and all of these are from Sportskeeda. Raw news, rumors, and results. Apollo Crews, formerly on Raw, is back in NXT, and he dropped the Nigerian accent. Sami Zayn reacts to this and defends Crews, saying that it's a great opportunity, and I do think he's great. I guess you got to go back to consistency. That's one thing that that's plagued his Apollo Crews his whole career. MVP and Chris Jericho got into a heated confrontation at a hotel in Texas. Last year, a blocking spree between these two started the beef, and it's still going to earlier in May in Houston, Texas. Jericho was seen with Matt Hardy, and nothing but shouting started, reportedly. And then Jericho said, "I don't fight jobbers," to MVP, and that was it. StillRealToUs.com reports that Ric Flair wants a match versus Vince McMahon at SummerSlam. Looking forward to WrestleMania 39. Roman versus The Rock does make sense. There's been plenty of hints and a little bit of a build already to that. But if that doesn't happen, The Rock will if The Rock doesn't make his return to the WWE, there's reports that there's already a backup match. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes, since returning to WWE, is on an incredible run and a huge winning streak, although the wins don't really matter because WWE doesn't do anything with those wins. He is now going to be out 9 months. It's been confirmed with the pec injury that he tore on Monday and then tore completely on Friday, training for the Hell in a Cell match. This is June 13th, so Hell in a Cell already happened. It was an incredible match, and it ended up being a 5-star rating from Dave Meltzer, and that was WWE's first main roster 5-star since 2011 Money in the Bank of John Cena versus CM Punk. On this day 20 years ago, Mr. McMahon beat Ric Flair in a no-holds-barred match thanks to the next big thing, Brock Lesnar. So once again, looking at June 6th, this is the wrap-up for June 6th, the week of that, starting with Raw. Cody Rhodes addresses his injury and his win at Hell in a Cell, saying that he's done with Seth Rollins for good. That's it. And he teased that he would be back in time for Money in the Bank, which would be a month away. And then Seth Rollins came out, faked us all out, showing him respect, and then went back to the back. Cody then made his way back, and Seth came back out and attacked him with a sledgehammer, initially writing him off of TV. And they would announce that he would have surgery on Wednesday, which was a success. And then later it would be confirmed on Friday that he will be out for 9 months. Raw, the next part was Becky Lynch versus Dana Brooke. And they were interrupted by the 24/7 title picture, part of the roster coming out and interrupting the match completely. Dana Brooke would win her 5th 24/7 title by pinning Reggie or Tozawa, whoever it was. Becky didn't like it. Said that no one was winning titles in her matches besides her. So she made Dana Brooke put the title on the line. Asuka came out, interrupted. Becky lost, and I can't believe it's 2022 and we're seeing Becky Lynch in a 24/7 title match on Raw. This is ridiculous, and both Becky and Seth deserve so much better. I'd rather honestly see her go to NXT and feud with Mandy Rose, maybe win the NXT, which is one of 4 or 5 titles that she has yet to win in WWE, if you count, depending on which ones you count. WWE officially announced that John Cena will be returning on June 27th, which is his 20th anniversary, and he will be coming to the Red Brand. And I hope the first person he sees is Austin Theory, and they immediately start with that. After that announcement, they went to Miz TV, and this was actually a watchable segment of Miz TV for once. Riddle was the guest, and he was hilarious. He came out and started talking French with Maurice, and then ended it with saying "Mayama Riddle," but that was great. He told Miz that he had tiny balls, and then the crowd was chanting "tiny balls." Riddle addressed and shouted out to Randy Orton, said, "I hope you come back soon, Randy, unlike my stepdad." And then we got Riddle versus The Miz after he was attacked by Ciampa. Riddle challenged The Miz. Miz said no. Riddle was attacked. Miz said yes, and then they had the match. He would get the win. And then the Usos versus the Street Profits in a championship contender match. It was a great match overall. Montez Ford jumped so high that he almost took out the briefcases that were hanging over the ring, and the Street Profits got a countout victory, so they will have a championship match against the Usos coming up soon. Bobby Lashley addressed his win over the dumpster fire Omos and MVP at Hell in a Cell, and then was interrupted by the U.S. champion Theory. Lashley hinted that he's going to be in the Money in the Bank match and called Theory out for a U.S. title match, which Theory said no. They had a couple more moments, and then when their segment ended. Next, we had Dominic Mysterio versus Veer. This was a random match to me, and Ray ended it with a DQ by stepping in to save Dom. And I don't understand the hype for Veer. I think Dom should be in the U.S. title picture with Theory and whatnot with Ray managing him. He shouldn't be being a jobber to Veer. Judgment Day adding their new member. I thought it was Ciampa, honestly, and then with the rumors of Bray Wyatt possibly returning and changing his name on Twitter to Wyatt6 and it being June 6th, I thought it was good to be either one of those two, but it was Finn Balor, and the three of them would end up turning on Edge, writing him off TV because he didn't like the way that they were going with it. They were going to take it in a supernatural route, and Edge didn't want to be a part of that. AJ Styles has since hinted at teaming with Edge when he returns, which will probably be as a babyface as the Rated R superstar and with his old music. Then we got Omos versus Cedric Alexander, and this was completely a squash match. It went like 20 seconds. After this, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode were back and had an interview, and it was interrupted by MVP and Omos, and then Dolph Ziggler super kicked MVP right into Omos' arms. This was hilarious, and I'm happy that they're back, and they'll hopefully add some competition to the lacking tag team division. We would then get Ezekiel versus Otis, and Ezekiel got the win and called out Kevin Owens immediately, to which he challenged him for a match this week tonight on Raw. And KO said he'd have it if he would admit that he's lying, that he is Elias. Ezekiel did, and then he took it back and said that he lied. And then that was kind of the end of that segment. It was great. Kevin Owens is awesome, and Sami Zayn too. They're both doing awesome things since signing their massive deals and having their big moments at Mania. The main event would be a fatal 4-way match. The winner will face Bianca at Money in the Bank for the Raw Women's title. Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Alexa Bliss, and Doudrop. I thought Alexa Bliss was going to keep winning since she has been undefeated since her return. Maybe Liv Morgan. After her work with Judgment Day and all that. But no, Rhea Ripley got the win and called her shot earlier in the night during their Judgment Day segment. And then at the end, Rhea and Bianca were having a stare down, and the other part of Judgment Day, Damian and Finn, they got out real quick and were staring down Bianca as well. And this made me immediately think of Judgment Day versus Bianca and the Street Profits. That would be fantastic. Also, a fantastic idea would be Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan. They worked really well together briefly in this match, and you could call them like Twisted Liv or Live for Bliss or whatever, and they could definitely win the still vacated WWE Women's Tag titles and maybe add some relevance to them